Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be dealing with one of the topics for the history of English language, looking at a different era and looking at the spread of English. And that is the pre-Old English period. So that is before 450 CE. So let's proceed now. So for the pre-Old English, of course, we have talked about already that the origination of the English itself is really part of the Germanic language family, which has its roots in Proto-Germanic. And the pre-Old English period before 450 CE marked the early stages of English development. So therefore, we have different significant events that happened during the pre-Old English. Of course, we have the Germanic migration, during the 400 BCE to 400 CE, wherein this includes the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes became migrating to the British Isles from the continental Europe. And they brought their Germanic language, which would eventually develop into the Old English. So next one is about the Celtic inhabitation. Prior to the Germanic migration, Celtic languages such as Old Welsh, Old Cornish, were spoken in the British Isles, and therefore this interaction between Celtic and incoming Germanic languages likely influenced the early English vocabulary and place names. After that, we have the Roman occupation. So if you have the idea of the Roman occupation, this is tagged with the Latin and of course the Christianity. So during the Roman occupation of Britain, Latin became the administrative and cultural language. So therefore, there is an influence of English through the Latin that includes words related to governance, trade, and religion, which survived into Old English. So next one is, of course, the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle is a historical record written in Old English that provides valuable insights into early English history, language, and culture. So, of course, what I have told you, which is about the Spanish, the Christianization, through the spread of the Christianization, the conversion of Anglo-Saxon kingdom to Christianity by missionaries like Augustine of Canterbury led to the use of Latin in religious context and introduced new religious terminology to Old English. And of course, the syncretism and cultural exchange. Here, we have the native culture, Germanic tradition, and Roman influence blending already with the shaping of early English society and language. Next one is a tribal and regional variation. Various Anglo-Saxon tribes settled in different regions and lead to dialectal variation that contributed to the development of Old English dialects. So here, we have the different, branches of English that we would like to see the differences for each time. So here for the pre-Old English, early English phonetics were shaped by Germanic roots. And also, specifically, we have Proto-Germanic voiceless stops became voice in word initial position. What do you mean by voiceless? Voiceless are basically more of there is no vibration of the sound. So for example, the word T and the B. So if you're going to gonna be going back to the discussion of yours into the speech and oral communication and voice and voiceless were discussed to you. When we talk about voiceless, there's no vibration into the speech organs that you have. So P and B, B. So there is voice when you sound the word B, meaning there is vibration. So the example of that one is the Bunras and the Punor. So like that. Next one is the phonology. So phonology, vowel length decisions were prominent already with the long and the short vowels. What do you mean by the long and the short vowels? The the A sound and the A sound. So the A, it is short, and the long vowel is the A. So like the word there, the day. Okay, so let's move on. So also with morphology here into the pre-Old English, noun inflections were prevalent with cases like nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive. So what do you mean by that? Looking into when some letters are added to the word, different gender are being identified already. So for example, the gust, And then another one is had forms like gust, guste, and gustes. Okay, so when you add another letter, another inflection for the noun, the word become different already. The meaning of the word become different already. So that is under morphology. Next one is syntax that talks about structure. So word order was flexible due to the rich inflectional morphology. So verb final sentences were common. So like for example, the one that that one that I cannot read it. I'm not very familiar on how you read it, but if you're going to translate it, the king loved the movement. So way back in the pre-old English, they're not very particular with the word order because they are flexible because of the rich inflectional morphology. What do you mean by rich inflectional morphology? Like putting something to the word and it becomes a different already, having a different meaning already. So it can either in a plural form or it can either be in a different gender. So for the semantics, vocabulary was influenced by the contact with Latin and other languages. Therefore, semantic shifts occurred like heya, originally meaning high, but also used for noble. So high and nobility can evolve into the same meaning. Okay? So heya means high or noble, evolving in different synonymous. So for phonetics, sound changes led to shifts in pronunciation, such as voiless stops and becoming voiced. So vowel length distinction and vowel shifts were characteristics of Old English also. For morphology, noun and verb inflections were key to Old English grammar. For syntax, flexible word order was allowed for varied sentence structures. And for semantics, vocabulary evolved and words acquired new meanings through cultural interaction. So these are examples of the scriptures of the Old English, particularly with the works of Beowulf. So I guess that would be all, everyone, for the topic and discussion of the pre-Old English. We will have another topic for another era, another time for the spread of English. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice day.